Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all for rocking with us throughout the entire night. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to the folks on Facebook Live. You guys been rocking with us the entire night. Shout out to those folks that are hanging out with us on TuneIn, as well as those folks on Streamer. Let's see who else we got. The replays on iTunes, and we got a lot of different ways to check out the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. So we are thanking you guys. So anyway, Tony and Q Boogie.
Yes.
We teased going into the break that we have to talk about the President of the United States of America. Now, every single week, I find some kind of way to have a conversation about this dude. Sometimes it's met with size. Yeah, sometimes it's met with size, and sometimes folks be like, "Yeah, let's talk about it." Like, I'm not the fake news guy who's just picking on him. I'm really not. I swear, I'm really not just picking on the dude. But
he does have to be picked on.
Honestly, I do get a kick out of some of the stuff that comes out of the White House. Not a kick as in I'm happy about it. A kick as in what the hell is he going to do today? This week is not what he do, is what his son do, Eric Trump. Now, my mother, who is a comedic genius, she said that when you look at Don and Eric together, they look like Beavis and Butthead. And they absolutely look like Beavis and Butthead. They look like the live action Beavis and Butthead. Like if they said, Eric, you're a dumbass. You know what I mean? Like they look like Beavis and Butthead. But anyway, Beavis was on Sean Hannity's show the other day. And he had this conversation with the host. Take a listen to this, and we'll come back on the other side.
Anchor on CNN called my father a piece of...
That's right. Piece of shh.
Right. Look at that POS comment that you made, all right? You might be an opinionated person, but you don't use profanity.
They're going to sue his ass off. Beat the shit out of them. Ripping the shit out of the sea. The son of a bitch.
Raise that fucking price.
Listen, you motherfuckers.
You're not a child when it comes to calling people names.
Lion Ted. L-Y-E-N. Little Marco. Crooked Hillary.
I mean... The manners, the lack of morals in society is awful.
Grab him by the pussy.
And honestly, I blame most of these politicians.
I guess I have been a politician.
The way they act are out of control. It's really the worst of the worst, Sean.
Yeah, that's Eric Trump. That's Eric. That's Eric Trump talking about his daddy.
Oh God.
Q Boogie, what you got?
What?
What you got, Q?
Oh my gosh! Why does Eric and Tiffany are basically the same person? They're like.
I'll be honest with you. I never seen them in the same place at the same time.
Never seen them together.
I never seen them together. Like,
so it's basically like one of my favorite commentaries of all time. I make sure that I try to watch his show every single Sunday. Is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and he is the best. I can't even say between him and Trevor Noah. I actually like John more. Even though I love Trevor Noah, John, one, he can cuss because he's on HBO, so he gets away with a lot more.
Oh,
but I think,
shit.
Right. I think he just gets away. And then just having all that commentary come from an English accent, it makes me so happy.
Oh, yeah, because
it's
he
so
ain't
great.
from here, he could be detached instead of,
Exactly.
Because his country ain't falling apart.
But he's, right. Well, yeah, it is, actually. Because he's from the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're falling apart, too.
Yeah.
So he has this running joke that Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are not actually twins, but it's just one person running back and forth really fast. So the same thing with Tiffany and Eric, like they're just back and forth just real quick. He's like, I know it's a conspiracy, but I have not figured out why. So to me, it's like the same thing. And Eric is trying so hard to be relevant. Tiffany gave up. Tiffany's like,
well,
I don't want nothing to do with
he
you.
He doesn't acknowledge Tiffany like
At
he
all.
acknowledges them.
At all.
And I think because he don't rock with Marla Maples. I think that's what it is.
But you just gonna give up on your.
I think he don't like her. So
your
that's
blood,
the reason
though.
why he's not gonna rock with his daughter Tiffany. Because you see Barron playing, and of course Ivanka is his girlfriend. I mean his daughter. And of course Don he don't care much for, because I heard stories about how he would show up on college campus where Don was going to school and like smack him around in front of his friends
Oh.
and whatnot. And then Eric just like Eric he always looks like he needs a blood transfusion. like right now,
like hurry up, he is anemic. Somebody get a vein in.
Like seriously, like he needs a blood transfusion and chapstick. Like,
yeah, he looks like he is always on the way to the bathroom. Like always, you just happen to I gotta go. Like he always looks like that.
Like you're like peeing or throwing up.
Both probably at the same time, simultaneously.
Let me stop talking about.
He looks like he looks like he's always at that steady pace of being like gotta go. Like he always looks like that.
Let me stop talking about him because I always say I don't want to talk about people, but I mean Eric is funny to me. Tony, what do you think about what you just heard?
That was funny.
Yeah.
Very accurate.
How are you
Just to show how people.
He said they're not even people. he said the people who oppose Donald Trump are not even people. This is what he
How
said.
dare these aliens talk about my father?
Well, I think that was genius how that was put together. It was very accurate, and I love how people say things, but like you don't think like somebody was talking about on a podcast I listened to, they were talking about how on these reality shows, like when they do the reunion, somebody will be like, I never said that, and they
roll
go back to
tape.
the clip where they said it, and they're like, well, I was referring to like I
You
just
took me
think
out of
that's,
context.
like, the best moment in time. So what does he say after this?
Nothing. He pretends it didn't happen. He pretends it was the fake media.
But it's par for the course. And I got another one. I got another Donald Trump clip
Jim.
that I'm going to run right now. That's right in line with what y'all saying. So let's take a listen to this one, and then we'll talk more about number 45. We'll talk more about him. He says that there's no time for vacations. He's not going to have time to play golf. Remember.
I promise you, I will not be taking very long vacations if I take them at all. There's no time for vacation. We're not going to be big. We're not going to be big on vacations. You know, there's so many things. It's sort of interesting, Chris. The White House is like this incredible place, right? It represents so much. And you're there for a limited period of time. If you're at the White House and you have so much work to do, why do you fly? Why do you leave so much? Why? You think you'd want to work, straighten it out, get it done, fix it up, make it great, and then when you finish, you can be proud. But boy, are we a mess. Because I'm going to be working for you. I'm not going to have time to go play golf, and believe me, Father.
Obama, it was reported today, played 250 rounds of golf, and he's going to be in Hawaii, I think, did they say for 3 weeks? How can a president, for 3 weeks? I don't have time for that. I love golf. I think it's one of the greats, but I don't have time. 250 rounds, that's more than a guy who plays on the PGA Tour plays.
Well, of course, he harshly criticized Obama for playing golf. Obama played his first round 4 months into his presidency. Trump, second weekend as president. In fact, while Obama averaged 35 rounds, he played 11 times. In his first 2 months, Trump has visited his Florida resort Mar-a-Lago every weekend at $16.5 million. For that amount, Meals on Wheels could feed almost 6,000 people. Okay, in his first 2 months, again, he's gone to Mar-a-Lago almost every single weekend. $97 million that he's going to end up spending. Actually, he's already spent, which is already more than President Obama has spent on playing golf. And it's a trip because this past weekend, we know the president, ironically, was playing golf.
Peyton Manning, right? Didn't have a Peyton?
No, that was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, this
Wrong
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah, it's wrong weekend. He's playing golf. So I'm floored by the outward lies that he tells or that he told, because those clips that you heard obviously was before he was elected president. I'm floored by the lies that he told to get elected versus what he's actually doing. And you get a lot of people who get caught, it's fake news and it doesn't matter and all this kind of stuff. Like, it does matter. It does matter that he said that he wouldn't leave the White House, that he would be in there working, and he talked so much about President Obama playing golf. Like, that does matter. It matters.
Yep.
And I speak to these people. It's coincidentally, and let me not say I speak to these people. I used to speak to these people. They don't speak to me anymore. I used to speak to them a lot the first few weeks after the election, and certainly the first few weeks after the inauguration. And as time has gone on and as more and more things have happened that have shined a negative light on our president, I'm hearing less and less from the detractors that used to engage me in conversations. The ones that used to tell me how I was tripping, I should just give him a chance, and how President Trump is the most disrespected president ever, and all of this kind of stuff. Like, I used to hear from them, and now I'm seeing them either not posting anything in social media at all, or they're posting fluff shit that ain't got nothing to do with the president of the United States. And they don't want to talk about the fact that you've got, a lot of smoke. And when there's a lot of smoke, eventually there's going to be some fire. What's your thoughts?
So it reminds me of the Murray Povich show. When those girls come on there and they're 1,000,000% sure that he's the daddy. That's kind of how the Trump supporters are to me.
Oh,
so
gosh.
all last year, he was the daddy. He was the daddy. And then the paternity test has come in, and he is not the father. They're running and screaming.
He's actually the Antichrist.
He's what?
He that dead baby pet.
It's like, and then they like run and hide. And like you said, you haven't heard anything. And I'm just like, it's really funny to me that they're so quiet. Like, you don't hear a peep. Like, I was sick of them all last year. At the beginning of this year, let's say January, through January, say 20th. And yeah, they're silent, and they have reason to be, but this is what y'all wanted, and it's what you got.
No, I can dig it.
That's hilarious.
Q Boogie, what you got?
I want to know mentally how you can consistently just lie and believe your own shit. Like, I want to know, like, even this week, not this week, late last week after Comey's testimony. Hey, I'm never going to say President Trump. Mr. Trump, can you tell us whether or not these things are true? And would you ever do this? Yeah. I'll say it under oath. Yeah. I'm like, how do you just have the gravitas constantly to just believe everything that falls out of your orange face? How does that happen? How do you just continuously just feed grade A bullshit every single day and never get it? I'm hoping there's like a couple moles in there, like there were in the very beginning, that they're just gathering as much intel as they can to make the entire thing just fall to pieces. We got, dealing with everything with Jeff Sessions and all these other people that just keep coming out. It's like, yo, there's obvious collusion. And you're still like, but what about this? And for him to continuously say that he is the most disrespected president, you, for 8 years, did all you could to just dismantle President Obama in any ways that you could, and 3 other presidents were assassinated. Like, how can you say that you're the most disrespected president? Right. 3 were assassinated. 1 died the day in, and then it's like, how are you the most disrespected? And it's so funny watching him just flinch under truth. It's like, hey, here goes some things that you're really trying to make true, and it's not. And he's like, no, kill it with fire. And it's just watching him just flinch and just and his Trump support, his supporters, his base is still there. He's right now looking at the low 40s.
That's still the high 30s.
High 30s, right.
High 30s.
But if he gets into the mid 30s, that's when there's going to be cause for concern. That means that his base, because basically everybody else is already out. Like, his base is the only reason why he's not 0. Right. But once he gets into that mid 30 range, it's like, oh,
but
shit.
Here's the crazy part. Like, we know the Comey testimony was last week. Yep. You guys alluded to that. My takeaway from it, just kind of going back to Trump, I didn't need the Comey testimony. Like, I didn't need it. You got Paul Manafort. Mm-hmm. You got Rex Tillerson, you got Jeff Sessions, got Michael Flynn, and you got his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. You got all of these people, either family or closely tied to him with all questionable ties to Russia. And we still got somewhat reasonable people walking around acting like he doesn't have questionable ties to Russia.
Right.
I didn't need no wishy-washy Comey to tell me that Donald Trump is a freaking liar for me to question his relationship with the truth.
Right.
All the back and forth is just, to me, a waste of time. All you got to really do is follow the money. Hold on, wait a minute. You can't follow the money. He won't release the taxes.
He won't release the taxes.
Now, like you alluded to, Q Boogie, most of the lefties are against Donald Trump. Most of us independents are against Donald Trump. Some of the Republicans, including prominent member John McCain and Lindsey Graham and others, are against Donald Trump. Our allies are turning against us. Our main one being Canada and the UK are turning against us.
Germany is like, we can't do this no more.
Germany just rolled their eyes and shook their head. But you still got that 35 to 38% of the people who call us snowflakes. Go freaking figure. Last thing I want to get to about Donald Trump before we get out of here is this kid in New Jersey who in his yearbook photo wore a shirt that said "Make America Great Again," and the school edited it out of the yearbook photo. Grant Barato is a junior at Wall Township High School. He said he was shocked when he flipped through the yearbook and saw that the shirt "Make America Great Again" was photoshopped out. He said, we didn't have a dress code. The senior boys have to wear black jackets and ties, but the underclassmen don't have a dress code. I like Trump, but it's history too. Wearing the shirt memorializes the time. The school edited it out. I got my feelings about it. I want to know yours. Tony, what's your thoughts? 804-402-2893 is the number to dial if you want to comment on this before we end the show.
I think the school was wrong, especially if there were no predetermined guidelines. There wasn't anything offensive or, graphic. I mean, it just said, as far as I can see, it said Trump and whatever underneath it. And from what I understand, there were some other students whose pictures were edited as well, and they didn't know that. They didn't know about it. So I don't think the school was right, especially in that case. I mean, it wasn't anything like derogatory. If he supports Trump, he supports Trump. Like, I would feel like I should be able to wear an Obama T-shirt. So,
Q Buggy, what's your thoughts?
It's tricky because it's infringing on, First Amendment rights, being able to express yourself and all that jazz.
Why do we say all that jazz instead of all that hip hop?
I don't know.
all the jazz is smoother.
All
Yeah.
that
Jazz.
all that soul, all that country. Sorry.
No.
I immediately went to Chicago. I immediately went there. Right.
And all that blues.
I mean, it's a song called "All That Jazz."
All
So
that-
I mean,
all
I
that
don't
pop.
think you can. I don't think.
All that bluegrass.
Right. I don't think Liza Minnelli doing the whole "all that country." I don't think that would work.
You can't see Carol Russell go all that hip hop.
And then still do this.
It's bougie banta all the bomba cloud.
Mama, jazz hands. Didn't like this, Mama. I watch a lot of old movies. I love old movies.
Obviously.
Yes. I love
So anyway, I cut you off. What you think? You said all that jazz, and
I said all that jazz,
I
it
just
just
got
went
distracted.
It's tricky, but my question then would be, it's hard. I guess me personally then, not me as a school, would be, what were you trying to say? Why did you choose that day, knowing it was school yearbook day, knowing it was photo day or whatever, to wear that shirt? Like, you may or may not have been trying to say at the time that you were trying to make a statement, but you were.
Right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have worn it. So it's like, all the things that were happening so much after the election, with people being threatened in high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, why would you knowingly bring that into the space?
I think it's outrageous that the school did that to this kid. I'm no fan of Donald Trump. Every time you listen to my show and watch me on social media, I make it clear and plain that I'm no fan of Donald Trump. I respect Q Boogie and others that say that I won't say President Trump. The reality is, it doesn't matter that you don't like him. He's president of the United States. And
I want to recount.
in any
obviously.
school, well, yeah, I do too, because a lot of it has to do with the fact that people don't vote the way they're supposed to go vote, and the redistricting messed up the electoral college. When she got 2 to 3 million more votes than he got, he ends up winning because of the electoral college. But again, that's another discussion for another day.
Yep.
But the reality is, he's the president of the United States, and how do you not allow a child to express his support of the president of the United States, even if it's a president that you don't like? That's a bad precedent to set, because next time it might be President Cory Booker, or it might be President Q Boogie, or it might be President Solo, or President Tony, or President Marcus J. It might be, President whomever.
Right.
So we're not going to allow a child to express him or herself support of the president of the United States in the same school that they probably made you pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Like, real talk. And I know it because from the kindergarten to the 12th grade, I had to stand in front of the flag and say it every day. And so the president of the United States doesn't get the respect in the school for a kid to wear the shirt. I can't stand Donald Trump. And because of where I grew up, I knew about Donald Trump 25 years, 30 years ago, when most of the country has just been introduced to him. I think y'all a bunch of crazy people that y'all elected him.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for him, and neither did the state that I live in or the state that I grew up in.
Right.
So hey, look, England, Canada. Sorry, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I think it's absolutely outrageous that this kid was censored.
But you also got to think about too that they also censored Obama shirts too. They did that too. Either way, it's wrong.
It's outrageous. It's the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or her or not, it's the president. And you don't let a kid wear a shirt that represents the president of the United States. That's crazy. When I saw that, as a person who has been very clear that I am no fan of Donald Trump, I've never been a fan of Donald Trump. I had my first I can't stand this dude moment in the late 80s when he was going so crazy over
the Central
Park Five. Yeah. And they, of course, were exonerated.
That he is yet to apologize?
He won't. He took a full-page ad after they were exonerated to say that they needed to be in jail. And I know in the 70s and the 80s he had issues with regards to housing.
Yep.
And you got a lot of people who, where's the proof of all that? Yeah, how about all of the damn lawsuits? Been sued almost 3,000 times.
Netflix?
He's been sued almost 3,000 times. Like, there's your proof. But we don't need to go into all of that. The reality is, through all of that, he's the president of the freaking United States of America. And a kid can't wear a shirt and represent the president that he supports. To me, that's outrageous. As a natural journalist, that's infringing upon the First Amendment right, and I got a problem with it. Shout out to our sister Shelly, who's checking us out. Peace to Shelly is checking us out. Q Boogie, you get the last word before we close it out.
I was just gonna be like, is he? Under everything else that's going on.
For now.
Is he?
For now.
But is he?
But who knows how much longer? But for now.
But I'm not talking about just for now. I'm talking about like under everything. Under how he got here.
It doesn't matter. None of that matters. I mean,
that's just how I look at it. It's just like, is he?
Yeah, but see, and I say this respectfully, but it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. It doesn't matter how Tony or Solo or any of you people watching us on Facebook Live. It doesn't matter. Like, this is where we need to get out of the emotion of it and deal with what the facts are. The facts are, he was inaugurated on January 20th, 2017. Unless he is impeached and is no longer the president, he is the president, like him or not. And many of us don't like him. 65% of the country does not like him, and most of the world does not like him. But it's cool. It's all right. It's cool that you don't like him because he's still the president, and we got to deal with that.
I guess the way I'm looking at it is like, look, if anybody does come over here and they're like, who is your allegiance to? And I'd be like, I don't know him. Like, that's how I'm looking at it. I don't know her.
In a comedic sense, I think we all would do that.
Yeah,
we would all do that. Like, we all know.
Take me to your president.
I mean, but we all have that person who we're either friendly with or we just happen to know because we work with him or we see him at the local watering hole or whatever. That's or we got him on Facebook and we just haven't deleted him yet. That is a Donald Trump supporter. And my issue with those people is they have no interest in viewing the facts as the facts are. They're so gung-ho in the hero worship of this man being the president that they supported and that they wanted to be the president, that they're not actually paying attention to what's actually happening. And because he says it's fake news, they say it's fake news.
Right.
And that, to me, is where the problem lies. But again, at the end of the day, he's still the president. Right. And we can bury our heads in the sand and be mad and act like, no, you're not the president. No. We can do that juvenile crap all we want. The reality is we have to deal with him until he's not the president no more. And so there's a certain level of respect that the office of the presidency should have, because if we continue to be disrespectful to the guy that's there now, 4 years from now or 8 years from now or 12 years from now or whatever, when there is a person in there that we do like and they start shitting on him, we're not going to have the kind of credibility. That's why they look like freaking crazy people now, shitting on the people who don't like Donald Trump, calling us snowflakes and shit, knowing how they acted with President Obama. Like, y'all the same ones who said, "Not my president." You know what I mean? Like Tommy Lohman had a tweet the other day or this morning, whenever it was, talking about how you gonna want to impeach the guy when you say he's not my president. Yeah, the same way you felt the same way about President Obama.
The same way you got fired on your day off. Shut up.
Yeah, but see again. But see again.
Shut up, Tammy.
We have to deal with the facts. We cannot with this. We cannot deal with emotions. We cannot, because we're not going to win if we deal with emotions. We deal with he's not my president. It's emotion. He is your president.
That burns. No.
Again, you're dealing with emotion. And if you want to deal with emotion, then you can deal with emotion. But I'm going to deal with facts. And the way I'm going to deal with facts is lay out straight up, strategically, the reason why he should not be the president, and deal with that. But if you spend so much time where he's not my president, and you dealing with emotions, you're going to be stuck with him for 4 years and probably 8.
I'm good with doing it. I can do both.
Because you know why? Because he's so charismatic and so smart. Say what you want about him, but I said a year ago that he could be the president. People thought I was crazy. I said that he could be the president because I watched him from a 12-year-old all the way up to when I'm about the age when I got consciousness in 1986. So from around then all the way up.
I remember.
Up to and including watching The Apprentice and seeing how he deals with people and knowing how he's got a certain level of charisma that I've not seen in other people. Like, he can look at you and tell you, hey, man, I can kill somebody right here in Times Square and they'll still vote for me. Like, the fact that he actually said that should be a problem. The fact that he got 3 baby mamas and two ex-wives and a current wife who's not even freaking from America and should have been enough for America to say he can't be the president.
Was not going to be his wife if he wouldn't have won.
It should have been enough for America to say he can't be the president. You know, he talking about grabbing peas. I'm a celebrity. I could do what I want. That should have been enough for him not to be the president, but he still made it. So we have to be critical in our thinking with this. We can't deal with emotion with this, because this dude is playing a whole nother game than what we playing. But we still walking around saying he's not my president. Like, we gotta think bigger than that.
I mean, I feel you on that. I mean, but I'm also looking at what all the things that he was saying when Obama was in there saying that that's not his president.
But you know, none of that matters anymore, though.
It doesn't matter, but I mean, in the same vein, it's like, I can look at these things objectively and still be like, nah, about certain things. Like, I've been following this since summer 2016. When everything was, when they lined up all 8,000 of the Republican candidates, and what's his name couldn't figure out how to walk out of a doorway, and all these other things.
Ben Carson.
Yeah, was it Bill Carson? Or was it somebody?
No, that was Ben.
It was Ben Carson. Yeah, it was.
Because he was the one that did all the dumb shit. Like, if there was some dumb shit, it was him.
It was Ben Carson. in the name of gifted hands, I can look at it objectively, I can look at it emotionally, and I can also look at the facts. And that's how I'm basing everything on. If I can still look at this and be like, you know, legit, you not my president because of this, of how you got in this office to begin with. Like, that's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, you're not my president because I don't like you. Like, I look at it because everything that was coming up to this point. I mean, the French election had basically the same thing we had.
Well, let me ask you this, because we running out of time, so I want to get to this real quick, and then I need to get us out of here. Was George W. Bush your president?
I'm thinking.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make it simple. Was Barack Hussein Obama your president?
Mm-hmm.
Was George W. Bush your president?
Mm-hmm.
Was Bill Clinton your president?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Barack Hussein Obama, he went through the presidency, some good, some bad. He was recently said to be the 17th best president. I'm sure that he will rise as history, shines on him. Fair enough. George Bush was another person who did not win the popular vote, and he ended up being selected by the Supreme Court. You just said he was your president.
But I'm only basing it off of the collusion. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but I mean, you could argue there was some collusion with George W. Bush.
But it never wasn't from a foreign country.
But he was selected as president, and there was some shady shit with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was within America, not in a foreign country. That's my only issue.
I mean, I got you, and I tend to agree with you. But I'm trying to steer you towards the critical thought of we cannot get caught up in the personal, because if we get caught up in the personal, he's gonna win. That's his lane. That's his lane. We have to stick with the facts. The facts was Comey said, I took my notes in there because I knew he was a liar. That's a fact.
Yeah.
When he had meetings with George Bush and he had meetings with Barack Obama, he ain't write no notes like that.
And there was like 1 or 2 meetings.
It was like one or two meetings versus 9 in 2 months.
In 4 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 2. Yeah.
Yeah, because he filed in May.
April.
So what's that? 3 months or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So this is the critical thought that I want to have. And should I produce and tell the world what you just did? No,
I mean, you already saw it.
Saw her almost like buzz her own head on the microphone. On that note, we're going to take our final break of the night. When we come back, we're going to have a moment in history. What happened on June 12, 1967 that I'm going to share with you guys in the history moment. What is Q Boogie and Miss Tony going to rant about tonight? You're going to have to find out on the other side. I'm me, they are they, you are you. Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Be back in a few.
What's up, y'all? This is your man K-Dub, and when I'm down on 285 down in Atlanta, GA, maybe on I-64 in Newport News, Virginia, or maybe I'm in Jersey City catching that light rail headed downtown to go into NYC, I'm always plugged in to Legacy Internet Radio, listening to Ain't No Half Stepping with my man Marcus J. Check it out, y'all. Peace.
What up, everybody? It's your girl, Jody Smith, JMM, Jody Music Mixtape. It's a classic. Get at my dude, Marcus J, on Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't no half stepping. Get your own JMM mixtape. Hit me up. Jody Smith on Facebook, Jody Music, Jody Music, or you can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. They're both Jody_804. Get at me on YouTube. That's Jody the Artist. Check out some of my footage, some of my videos. You can listen in on SoundCloud, Jody Smith Music, or just give me a call at 1-262-JODY-804. That's 1-262-JODY-804.